First thing we're going to do is we're going to secure these 4 pieces of wood together. These are 2 by 8 by 8 foot long. I got 2 of those, and I cut another one to 21 inches. It's 2 by 8 by 21 inches long. 2 of those actually, here and here. Now when these 2 are fixed together, or all of them fixed together, it's going to be exactly 2 by 8. Anytime working near the end of a piece of wood, I always pre-drill with a drill bit that is probably half or so, definitely smaller than the screw itself. We're going to put 3 screws in each one of these, and I pre-drilled them so it wouldn't split. Okay, I've screwed them in. You can see it's 24 inches, so it's 2 foot by 8 foot. Next is to create the bottom, and all that is a 4 by 8 piece of 1/2 inch treated plywood. I cut it directly in half to make 2 of these, and to secure them I took a nail and I hammered in just barely, as you can see here, to make a little bit of hole, a starting place for the screws. And the reason why I did that is because this plywood and OSB and things like that can be challenging sometimes, and when you're trying to hold a screw and drill it in, it can slip. And in fact, I put that drill bit, or one just like it, with a star head, a Phillips head, right through this finger halfway through, and it hurt. So I don't do that anymore. I take a nail, I do that, I hit it start, and it goes in real easy that way. There it is, bottom screwed on. Spacing is every 6 inches. 6 inches from screw to screw. And this is what it looks like on the inside. Now, wood is never perfect, but what you're trying to do is you're trying to remove as much, you want the plastic lay against here without burring or rubbing or anything like that, so you get the cleanest sides you can to the inside where the plastic is going to lie against here. And I attempted to do that. It wasn't so easy in some places. Like there's a little bit here, there's a little bit here, so what I may end up doing there is treating that a little bit with something, I don't know, putty or something. The next thing we need to do is drill a drain/return line. And you do that with 2 hole saws. You drill this one first, and that's so it covers the outside of the bulkhead, and then you drill the inside so it fits over this little area here that has room for the seal. And I'll show you how I do that. Now when I do it in here, I have screws coming up through the bottom, and I have them every 6 inches, so I have to make sure that I'm not cutting out where a screw is. So I'm going to cut about right here. It's every 6 inches, so it'll be in between 2 screws. So let me drill the first part and I'll bring you back. Now the reason why we have to drill in at all with 2 of them instead of just 1 is because the wood's too thick here, so you can't grab. So we have to drill in some, plus it recesses it, makes it a little better, a little neater. I'll show you that, but this is why we can't use just the small one over there. We have to use 2. So what I did was I took this one and I drilled it in. You see how it's right about on the edge of the hole there? Well, if you take that in, that's how far, if you measure it from the outside, that's about how far it goes in, nearly half. And that's all we need. Now we need to switch to the smaller one so we can go all the way in. Okay, I've already finished drilling, but what I wanted to show you is that, sorry, I've got a little bit of a cold still. When you come in and the tip barely comes out through the wood, and it pieces, the plug is still there, you pull it out, and then you go in from this side, and that makes it real easy to remove the plug from the end. Just a little tip. Alright, there it is. Now all you got to do is take a flathead screwdriver and just break off the pieces. I'll do that and clean it up some and bring you back. Actually, it's almost cleaned up, isn't it? Anyway, let me finish this up. I'll bring it back and show you how I put it in. Okay, there it is. My recessed outlet. And this is 3/4 inch pipe, so it fits all the feed line types as well, and bigger diameter return line means it's easier for water to escape, less chance of overflow and stuff. So yeah, this doesn't have to be exactly smooth because the sealing side is on the inside here, and there's a gasket here, and you put the plastic on first, then you cut a little X, and you put this on and you tighten it up with this piece on the outside. So I'll go ahead and tighten it up, just show you what it looks like finished. Okay, you can see that it is flush, and all I did was I took some channel locks here and I tightened it down that way, holding the other side. And the flange of the plastic will be here. It'll be on a smooth surface. That's a very solid, nice return. Those bulkheads are pretty awesome. Okay, I've got one of the containers. I want to make sure that this touches the bottom and rests on top of the styrofoam. So I've got a little piece of 3/4 inch styrofoam, and I'm going to put it on top of here like it is sitting on there, and I'm going to secure the rail here, or the support, styrofoam support. And so I know that once I'm finished, these are going to rest on the bottom, and I need them to be able to rest on the bottom. So we got one link done. I'm going to flip it over. We're going to do the other side, and then we'll just connect for the short end. We'll just connect the two sides together. Don't even have to measure the short side. So I've got the support here all the way around, and you'll notice that this is a big open area, and that's the way I want it. When I had my 4x8 culture beds, I noticed that there was sagging in the middle, and I put a center piece, a block with some wood on top of it as a center. But for this project, I don't want anything like that. It's smaller, it's half as wide, so it's probably be okay by itself. The ends are secure, but what I did as an extra measure is I put two 2x4s, treated 2x4s, where you have 3 equal pieces. That's the way it's supported in the middle. So in order for this to sag right here, it would have to push out here. So I think that's plenty good enough. Okay, she is set roughly where she's gonna go. And I still have to put the plastic in, obviously, before filling it up. Now on the end, this is the control. You see I've got the outside. This is the return back to distribution tank line. On the inside, I can set the level of how high the nutrient is all the way up to the actual styrofoam if I wanted. But if I set it down here like this, the nutrient, well, let's just set it all the way on the bottom. The nutrient's going to come up here as it rises from the distribution tank, and once it gets up here to the level of the pipe, actually up to here, it's going to slowly fill this pipe until it gets high enough, which will be somewhere right in here, to start draining. So the minimum level of water is going to be about an inch or so, maybe 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches. But at the same time, I can rise it, I can lift it up all the way up here. That way when the nutrient comes up, it'll start to fill the pipe here and flow down. So the level is going to be about right here. So I want it that way. And the reason why is I can make this either a water culture bed again, where I grow directly in the water, or I can use it with the pots like my main intention is going to be. So I'm going to have it probably sitting somewhere about right in here. When I first start things off, it may be lower, so the wicking up it'll only be on the very bottom of the containers, and the containers will be full of medium, and it won't be saturated. And then as they grow, most things take to hydroponic nutrient pretty good when they get big. I can raise it up to whatever level I need. That way when the roots go through the pot and out, they have various levels of nutrient water they can grow into, which is also what I want. So this is a very good deal, I think. It's going to work great for me, but I'm only going to do 2 of these to trial them out in comparison to the others. But you can see here, these were the old water culture ones, and I took the top of a Folgers lid and I scribed around it where the hole was, and then I put the buckets that I'm going to use, these here, and they fit down in there, and they fit almost flush. Well, they do fit flush and touch the bottom of the new FAWN 2.0 bed. So I got to finish cutting out these, and then I'll have to clean it also and get all the debris up, and then I'll fit them with all these. And so there's the cutout. That's the foam topper. And you can see it's pretty loose. That's because the support is pretty wide, so there's, as long as it can sit flat enough, no light can come in. Now these should touch the bottom, which they do, and sit flush. And there's one of the problems I had before was wind would catch these, because the height of this of the foam is lower. That's not going to happen. Plus you're going to have the weight of every one of these containers with medium in them, and that should definitely keep it from flying up. Here they are. Most of them are installed. I left 3 out because I wanted to take you inside to show you what it looks like. Hopefully up here I won't be able to stick my head in there and check. But I took this one out to stick the camera in. I took the 2 out down there to provide some light. So let's see if you can see in there what it looks like. You can hopefully see that the majority are touching the bottom. And if not, once the soil, I mean, if they may be really close, but once the soil's in, they'll definitely touch. So that's what it looks like, and it creates a chamber. And the chamber, when it's not completely full of water, becomes kind of a humid, controlled temperature chamber. It'll kind of keep the whole pot, since the whole pot is below the surface, it'll keep it the temperature regulated more. Well, that's my hope. That's the theory anyway. So let me put all these in here, and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, that is it. That's what it's going to look like. And this should control the algae issues, keep the sun out completely, and it also should prevent mosquitoes from getting in there, or a good portion of mosquitoes anyway, which will help keeping the mosquito larvae out and keep me from getting bit every time I come out here a mosquito bit. It's not fun. It didn't happen a whole lot until this past season, and I know why that was. But anyway, hopefully this will remedy that. I didn't forget about the wicking beds. If I wanted to, I could this is the other half of the wicking bed holes. If I wanted to, I could grow directly in it, just like I did the water culture beds. I said wicking bed, did I? I meant water culture beds. So yeah, I could grow just like I did before, towards middle and end of last year, in water culture beds. So I have the option to do either. One of the things I also wanted to remedy was incorporating a way to be able to grow root vegetables such as carrots or potatoes, like I've done in the past in FAWN, and I'm going to do it this way. Or if I want some other reason to have a more robust medium, there's going to be the the nutrient feed right here is going to go along down here, and I'll still be able to have top hat grommets and 1/4-inch tubing that can top feed up here. Other than that, though, they're going to go directly into the new system here and just fill it, so for wicking purposes. But I can still do top down this way, and the reason why I can is because the weight of this container is supported by see this touching the bottom, so all that weight is supported of this bucket. So I can still do a top down, and in fact I will do that for things like carrots and potatoes and, well, whatever else I want. Maybe I want to do a cage wrapping, cucumber, or, you know, just about anything I want to do. So that was also a plus when I was thinking all this out. I'll be able to do that. So that's it for the new FAWN build. I'll go ahead and put this video up. Yep, next thing to do is put the plastic on and wait for warm weather and get her started. I did turn the foam upside down. That's because Jon Snow, the cat, walks all over everything, and yeah, he's gonna get mud on it. We'll see you later.